I welcome everyone to my channel. I am Igor Volodkin. Today I'm going to teach you how to draw an ellipse. Any ellipse is a component of a rotating surface. Well, we're surrounded by the simplest geometric bodies. They are a cube, a cylinder, and a sphere. A cylinder and a sphere have rotational surfaces with a circle at their base. So, to learn how to draw an ellipse, one should first learn how to draw a circle. We can draw a circle moving our hand from the shoulder. Even if you want to draw a small circle, you still should use your shoulder. Any circle has its horizontal axis and its vertical axis. So before you start to draw an ellipse, you should draw a circle first. Well, you should always hold your pencil perpendicularly to the ellipse's horizontal axis. I mean, the projection of the pencil must be at a 90-degree angle to it. Let me just draw it here to make it clear for you. Okay, here our pencil is, and let's write it down here, that it is a 90-degree angle. The pencil should always be held at a 90-degree angle, no matter whether it is on the right or on the left. The challenge is to draw a circle without lifting the pencil. We are directing our pencil inward to draw a circle. Just do it like this. Now look. I am holding my pencil vertically on the left, right now. You should always keep this rule in mind. And this is how you can draw circles of different diameters. It's this very area, the left side area, that always tends to be problematic for an artist. I start turning my pencil this way or that way. Initially, when we have started to draw our circle, the pencil should be positioned perpendicularly to the horizontal axis of the circle. Even when we draw small circles, we should still move our pencil from the shoulder, and we should hold it vertically. Well, when we draw an ellipse, which is actually a circle in perspective, we have to remember that indeed any ellipse has its major horizontal axis and its minor vertical axis. Let's mark the distance here that we need to get to. So when we draw an ellipse, we keep the projection of the pencil perpendicular to the ellipse's horizontal axis, which is actually its major axis, as I said before. So let's just draw a big ellipse. Our pencil should be correctly and comfortably positioned. I mean, its projection should be at the vertical position to the horizontal major axis of the ellipse. The pencil on both sides, whether it is the right side or the left side, is held vertically. If you change the position of the pencil in relation to the axis, you'll get anything but not an ellipse. And the wrong positioning of the pencil is exactly what causes problems in drawing. The problems when you fail to draw an ellipse. Beginning when you start to draw an ellipse, that is actually a circle in perspective, you're kind of sketching it. We make with our pencil slight movements to find the opening of the ellipse relative to the axis. Once we finally get the ellipse, we make the simplest motions by the pencil. We talked about them at the previous lesson. So we have the outer curve and the inner curve. And we use these slight motions to complete the curves or to refine them. At the bottom we have the outer curve. At the top we have the inner curve. And don't forget that the outer curve has chords. In this very case, the chord is to be found right here. It's going to be a horizontal line and projection. I am talking about the projection of the pencil, must be 90 degrees to it. The same concerns the upper inner curve. Once you've refined the upper and lower curves, you should refine the left and right curves the same way. Also gently and carefully holding the pencil vertically. On this condition, you will definitely get a good ellipse with absolutely any opening that you need. I'll repeat it once again. Any ellipse has its horizontal major axis and its vertical minor axis. Now notice that the lower part of the minor axis is just a little bit bigger, slightly larger in size than its upper part. This happens due to the linear perspective. So the segment that stretches away from the viewer will always shrink on the horizontal plane. But at the beginning, you don't have to pay much attention to it. Just make sure to draw the upper curve and the lower curve similar. Now, let's go further. How to draw an ellipse in a different position, relatively to horizontal and verticality. In other words, what if the major axis of our ellipse is positioned at a different angle? We do it just the same way. We hold our pencil at a 90-degree angle, and we start drawing an ellipse without breaking off the pencil. Moving our hand speed, we start by sketching it, and then we refine it with the same motions as we did when we drew the curves slightly. In this case, the ellipse I am drawing is large, so that's why I'm gripping my hand with my second hand. But when we need to draw a smaller ellipse, the initial stage of drawing should start with moving from the shoulder. The pencil is also held by the grip of the second hand, and once I have found the opening of my ellipse, I refine it by holding the pencil with only one hand. Then I draw its inner curve and its outer curve by making exactly the same motions. And thus, I am drawing its left curve and its right curve in the same way. The pencil has exactly the same position relatively to the major axis of the ellipse, and the projection of my pencil is retained perp to the major axis. Practice drawing ellipses in different directions by turning the pencil back and forth relatively to the line you are drawing, but holding your pencil perpendicularly to the major axis of the ellipse. I mean, you can simply draw the axis. Afterwards, you can sketch the ellipse without turning the pencil, without twisting your arm, but by moving hand from shoulder. Once you have sketched the ellipse, in other words, once you found its opening, regarding to the object you are drawing, you start to refine it, using either only on hand grip or the grip of your second hand too. There is the inner curve here, and there is the outer curve there. I start moving my hand from the shoulder. Just practice it, and you'll be a success. Follow the rules of perspective contraction. Also follow the rules of internal and external curves, and use different positions of the pencil. There are only two of them. The first one is just holding a pencil like a pen, and the second position is holding a pencil inside the palm, so as to draw by moving your hand from the shoulder. I am Igor Mikhailovich Volodkin. I wish all the best to everyone.